when I was growing up, we were always told that we had to rely on the police. The policemen were, we were told, our friends. You can rely on the police. The police will take care of you. If you have a problem, don't worry, just call the police. Well, this is the first time in history where we've actually found all levels of government admitting that there are bad policemen, that you can't trust all policemen, that some policemen may do things that hurt you, that are negative towards you, or they may be indifferent to your needs. And with this realization, the statements coming out, and the recent conviction for the policemen who killed George Floyd, we can take a new stance. We can admit to ourselves, to our kids, be careful. You may get a good policeman, you may get a bad policeman. But there are some bad policemen. There are some policemen who are white separatists, who don't really want anybody who's not pure white in the United States or to do well. They're going to work against any person who is non-white, and they can't be fully trusted. We don't know who these people are. We have to sense it, use our common sense, and try to figure out whether or not the policeman is doing good by us or bad by us. Unfortunately, when we get in a situation where we're in an automobile and we're stopped by a policeman, we don't know what that policeman has done in the past. We don't know who he is. We don't know what his reason for stopping us is often, and we don't know exactly how this stop is going to go. Will it be a smooth stop, or will there be some sort of violence or other crazy stuff going on? Heck, it could even end in your death. So you have to be cautious when a policeman stops you, and you have to try to not cause any waves, because the policeman is really in control once he has stopped you for any type of automotive violation. This is not the time to start smart talking at the policeman or trying to flee, because those will end in disastrous ways. But we need to say that now that we have admitted that there are bad policemen, finally, after all these decades, that we have finally had this come out of our mouths, we have to say there must be some limitations on what a policeman can do when he has you at a traffic stop. Currently, a policeman can do anything. He can stop you, he can make up any type of violation to arrest you, he can say you were fleeing and shoot you in your back, even though maybe you were fleeing because the police officer was doing something that made you fear for your life. And I even remember one time I saw on a video where a policeman had stopped a black man. The man ran from the policeman and was looking kind of back towards the policeman. The policeman calmly pulled out his gun, shot him in the back, and then as he came up to the body, he threw a gun next to the man on the ground, and never did any type of rescue help or never called for medical help, like an ambulance or anything like that. And that was, to me, just really shocking. But that's probably been I'm sure it's been going on forever. And these are the kinds of powers that a policeman has when he stops somebody. And for anyone, whether you're of any race, this is too much. You don't know if the policeman is crazy. We have a lot of policemen who end up being rapists or murderers or into financial scams and all kinds of things. So we know that there aren't all good policemen. There are good policemen, there are bad policemen, and you never know which guy you're going to be dealing with at a traffic stop. What we need to do is have some sort of rules and some regulations that help the driver when they come and have some sort of incident. One thing that might help is if every car had a recorder in it, so that when you are stopped, you could push a button and it would record what was going on in the interaction with the policeman. The recorder would be in the car, and it would be tamper-proof so that the policeman couldn't go and just erase what's on the record. It would actually be saved, and after the car was towed in, if you are arrested or killed, there would be some documentation other than whatever the policeman reports as to what actually went on during the traffic stop. Currently, if you're recording a policeman at a traffic stop, they'll often ask you to turn off your camera or your tape recorder, and they get very concerned if they're being recorded in any way. I can understand why a policeman doesn't want to have his face recorded, but the incident in general should be recordable if you agree to have it recorded, and you're the one being stopped, so why not have it be recorded? But often the policeman will ask you to turn it off, and if something negative were to happen, they can confiscate that, and they may not report it to the police department that that tape even exists. So you will lose your evidence as to what happened and why you acted as you did, or if it should be a death. Well, of course, the community wants to know what happened and why did this person die. Policemen do wear cameras, and often there is a camera on the police vehicle, but too often we hear of policemen who, quote unquote, forgot to turn on their camera or have some other excuse as to why they did not record the incident, even when the incident went terribly, terribly wrong. What we need are more community ideas as to how we can better enforce the police force so that people are less injured, so that there is less bias and racism at traffic stops and other occasions when the police are involved. And we need the community to come in, give their suggestions, and then see which ones can be implemented and tried out to document whether or not it proves what's going on. We also need to monitor the police unions, because a lot of the racism comes from people who run the police unions and who run these special boot camps for police officers. Those institutions have been established for many decades, and they're run by people who are white supremacists. And so we need to get in there and change the mindset or the leadership of the police unions and make sure that they're teaching the police the best way to deal with the public, and so that everybody can be safe.